So we are now live on the internet, boys.
Live.
So that's it. You are now YouTube famous, boys. What do we think about being YouTube famous?
I ain't got any freebies.
Well, there's one person that's watching. So if I go on to comments and see if we've got, it's probably my wife, to be fair. I don't know. She's probably sat in the background. Just seeing what you two are interested in doing. So obviously there is going to be 4 of us on screen. So it's a little bit easier that we can all get together, but obviously there's nobody watching. That's the easiest way to put it. If you're watching you're my content, you're my audience. So nobody's watching anymore because you two are here. So obviously I've decided that I'm going to get into YouTube, and I've decided that after having loads and loads of different fish tanks, I was going to give this a crack. And why did you get into marine fish tanks, basically?
Do you want to go first, Ross? Or
yeah, can do. I started with tropical anyway, and then it just got a little bit boring. Really, the colours of the fish weren't as nice or anything like that, and so I fancied trying something different.
How long did you do tropical for?
Probably a couple of years, to be fair.
Right.
So I mean, I've only been into the marine for, it was not even a year yet. I think it was like June or July when I got that first tank.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously you kept tropical for years or months or.
Yeah, a couple of years.
All right, fair enough. So keeping fish is keeping fish. Then obviously marine tank of keeping corals and stuff like that. It's a different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
A lot more discipline.
Yeah, but obviously Daryl's got exactly the same fish tank as you, and I delivered his fish tank on the 3rd day of being in the shop. So, what did you do before your 4-foot, Daryl?
what you want to? Right.
Did you have tropical before, or did you just have the little marine one?
I had a little marine one, aqua one, something like that. I had that for about a year, if that, and then upgraded up to my 4-foot. The only reason I'm doing this is because my oldest daughter.
Marine tank or the YouTube?
The marine tank is because she wanted a goldfish, and I've kept cichlids, I've kept tropical planted tanks, I've kept a lot of stuff, and I said I'm not doing a goldfish. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do marine. I've never done marine. I'll get a couple pair of clowns.
Right.
And then
Sound went off.
Yeah, that's how I went on. That's how I come into this. She's not even interested in the tank anymore.
You what? Sorry.
I said she's not even interested in the tank anymore.
All right, fair enough.
So, because she wanted a goldfish, I ended up with a 4-foot marine tank.
As you do. I can see that as an easy step, that you walk into a shop and you go, yeah, I'll have a goldfish, and then end up with a marine tank.
Yeah, it is.
So the equipment that you've got above, what lights are you running on your tank, Daryl?
Reef Factory, small. I've got 3 of them above it.
Were they the first lights that you put on it, or have you upgraded?
No, I had the original one that came with the Aqua One. That was a strip LED light. That lasted about 10 minutes. In the end, I ended up putting it under the fish tank as to see my son.
All right.
And then I went on to the max step jumps. Had them for a couple of years, and I got another one to go. When I got this tank, I got another one to go with it. And then I just thought, I'm going to have to go Reef Factory because I've heard so much good reviews about them.
All right, cool.
Well, how good the light is for what power they use and stuff. And to be fair, I can't fault them. They grow corals, so that's it. Happy days. As long as it's growing, it doesn't matter.
So when you obviously first started, you were advised to buy the lights that you had before, or did you make that decision yourself?
Bit of both. Obviously, done as much revising as possibly could on them, but at the time, I wouldn't say they were brand new out, but there was newish, and there wasn't really much on there out about them.
Right.
So I ended up going off word of mouth as well, and at the shop, and just went with him from there.
Yeah. And you've got a decent light above your tank now, Ross?
I have a decent light above my tank now, yes.
Yes. Winning. What light is that?
So it's the Evergrow IT5012.
So the 4-foot version of it.
The 4-foot version, yeah.
So you've gone for a proper sized light on a proper marine tank.
This is true.
Oh, you must have had some good information, you.
Yeah, I had a bit of advice.
Oh, a little bit. And has it been a game changer of the better light?
Yeah, it's definitely better. Because I've sort of started again, like with the tank, I'm not seeing a lot of growth really at the minute, but it'll come. So
your water test that you did the other day, are you 100% confident that you've seen a little bit of movement in your parameters?
Well, I've done a water change today, so I didn't want to do it today. I'll do it like tomorrow or Sunday.
Right.
Another test. But yeah, I think it's starting to come together now.
But that's it. That first little bit of coral that you see growing is that little bit of, I'm doing something right. And obviously we've seen Daryl's tank on that video thing that I did, and it's different. And obviously you get that first little bit of growth, and then obviously it'll
take off,
go to live. It's a game changer basically. Yeah. And the first corals that you went into were easy corals, Daryl. Did you go soft?
Yeah. Yeah, the Kenyas, bloody Zoas. I did try a torch, but I didn't do too well with that. Hammers. Yeah, just the typical soft and soft corals and LPS. And then I think basically when I started dosing, started doing that, and then I thought, I'll chuck some Monty on the top and see what goes. See if it goes. And to be fair, the Monty took as well. So it was all right.
Monty or encrusted Monty?
Digi.
Ah, right, yeah.
Monty Digitile, whatever you call them. Yeah. And that seeing white tips on that all the time, and that was growing well. And that, to be fair, that was in my Aqua 1. So when I moved over to this, I basically just moved the rockscape from one to the other.
Yeah.
And I was laughing really. And then ever since I've upgraded the lights to a lot more powerful light, the growth has been fantastic on them.
Right.
Until my fish knocked it off the top and it fell down the back. So yeah.
Wickedy Easy. So you two have never met, have you?
No.
So I've literally just picked random strangers out of the nothingness, and you're gonna be famous, boys. You're gonna be famous. Nobody's watching it at the minute, but you are going to be famous. But as I say, as a process of the first little bit of the first little win and the first little bit of a fish tank, this is a win that you're on the internet now. And tomorrow, or as soon as you come off of here, you'll be able to listen to yourself and you'll be able to see yourself. Now that's going to be frightening, watching yourself back.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah,
yeah. But then the little baby steps of doing something for the very first time, it's a minefield to start with. Did you see one of my first posts that I ever put out when I was doing my YouTube creation? Because my first real video was me sat in this chair looking at a camera and I'm going, are you watching me? And I was literally watching myself back and I was watching me. But then I realized nobody's watching. You're the only person that's watching you. And the content, obviously, that we're doing at the minute, there's one person watching, no idea who it is. But hello. It's just like the first little bit of getting a little bit more confident on the internet. And then we can start doing some proper content.
So, as the host, can you not see who's watching them?
No, you can't see unless they put a comment in the chat. So at the moment, obviously, top left-hand side, it says we've been live for 11 minutes. Oh, it's my wife. Hello. Hello. So that's it. She's in the background. So these are two of the idiots. I've got another one on the way somewhere, but he's obviously got a proper job.
You've got work to do.
Watching you is my wife, basically. She's loyal. She's loyal. She just wants to see what I'm doing. She's spying on me.
Oh,
I know. So the two of you have obviously been in the shop today and interacted with the shop. Did you see that we've still got one Scully in the shop for £150?
yes.
£150 for a Scully. They were going mad about them 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. It was the content that everybody had to have on YouTube, but we weren't there talking about them. So we might as well talk about them now. What do you think about £150 Scully? Some been selling them for upwards of 300 quid.
Yeah, I think was it AAC? They was upwards of that. Moss End, is it? Keeper Moss End or something? I think there was 300.
So do you think they're overpriced at 150 quid?
In general, as everyone going everywhere else, then no, they're cheap. But would I pay 150 quid for a Scully? No. No.
I wouldn't be allowed to.
£150 Scully?
No.
No? Oh, neither do I, to be fair, because like everything, it's one of those things that will be a little bit of a flash in the pan. That the people that have got Scullies in the fish tanks now and stuff like that, the process of putting it in there and feeding it and keeping it alive.
That's what puts me off them. Don't get me wrong, full grown Scully and everything, they look beautiful. And
yeah.
Be honest with you, the fish tanks have got them in and everything like that when they got a full grown ones, gorgeous. But having to feed it every day every other day or whatever you do, it just puts me off it. I like just to feed my fish and then let the fish poo feed my corals. I don't like feeding corals for some reason. It's something I've never done. Never liked it. Because your phosphates go through the roof and it's hard enough keeping on top of your phosphates as it is. So, yeah, the Scully's nice, yes, pretty, yes. Would I have one? No.
No. And obviously, my view, obviously, of like the new Scullies that have come in the country and stuff like that is good because obviously they're now aquacultured. They're not coming out of the wild because of the band, obviously. It's a coral that's on the market But the prices that some people have put on these corals, I don't get it, to be fair. But obviously, all the YouTube creators and things like that have been out and bought them just for YouTube creation. But I think my target audience isn't the established reef tank. I'd like to get people into the hobby because it's such a brilliant hobby. And obviously, whether you start off with a little marine fish tank and have a certain grade of coral, then you can always step up, and you're always going to be in the hobby from start to finish. Daryl, so I'm thinking you're probably 4 or 5 years into the hobby, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
And then obviously Ross is the baby at the minute. but it's the technicality that gets me. That obviously fish are fish. You can keep tropical fish, you can keep marine fish, and the only difference is the salt. But then as soon as you've got a salty tank, you then want to test yourself with the corals and things like that. And when you put your very first coral in your marine fish tank, the process of you just run away with yourself. That little bit of time and getting things right, you put the corals in, and it's a worthless hobby if you're spending 20 quid, 30 quid, 40 quid on a coral, and it goes in a fish tank and then it dies. It's not nice hobby, which is why I've tried to do things slightly different at the shop. And obviously, you both had a little bit of something for a quid. Ross has had a couple of corals that he's had in the shop, and then they've died, and I've replaced them for nothing, because that's the type of person I am. But you're laughing at.
I know that free from you.
There's not another shop in the country that's got an idiot that's there. And obviously...
No, but look at it this way, right? If he's got into the hobby, Ross has got into the hobby, and things keep dying and everything. I'm not being funny, but me, I'm the same. You'd give up. You'd be like, I'm not chucking any more money at this. It's a bloody money pit, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And you'll give up. But the fact is, if you're giving him a coral, if you've grown it, it's cost you electricity and that's it.
Yep.
To keep him in the hobby, to keep him as a potential customer in the future, so you can rob him down the line. And then
the line.
Well, that's a good thing. That is a good thing to do.
Yeah, and that's the difference. That obviously the hobby side of it is different, because obviously people do like frag swaps and things like that, and they build a friend base that you have something growing in your fish tank and then you pass it on to your friends and things like that, and you do swaps and trades and things like that. But the initial year of a marine fish tank is the hardest thing that you'll ever go through.
Oh, you're banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, because you've not got the patience in theory for it, and the other thing that you haven't got is the understanding of what you're doing wrong. And that's the difference. That obviously the interaction that I'm having with Ross at the moment is trying to explain why things are doing what they're doing, but also obviously we're talking about lighting positions and stuff like that, and obviously placing a coral on a particular shelf, the flow and all of the different things that interact with the marine fish tank are unique to that fish tank. I could move a coral out of here and put it in there, and everything then changes, and you've got to let that coral adapt to the new surroundings, haven't you?
Well, this is it. Prime example, your lights. If you change your lights and everything like that, keep changing the spectrum and everything on your lights, your corals are never going to adjust to it. If you never adjust to it, they're never going to grow.
Yep. So that's what we're literally just going through at the moment. Of he's now got a brilliant light above his fish tank and was playing with the settings originally, But you've
Yeah, so I've got it to my what I think now is my final settings as well.
off for a beer. Chat amongst yourselves.
Well, this is it. Once you've got your light set, happy, it's just set and forget. Leave it now, and then just crack on. Just start putting things in.
See what Lee said when I first got the light was to over a few weeks ramp it up to its like what I'm going to finally leave it at. So it's at that point now for maybe only just a week. So it's still adjusting.
But has your fish tank gone green?
Has what? Sorry.
Has your fish tank gone green?
No.
No, that's because you stepped your light up in stages and let everything get accustomed to it. If you'd have turned those lights on from day one at full intensity, you're just waiting for it all to go green. Yeah.
To be fair, there's not many people out there put 100% anyway.
No, mine's up at, I think it's at 80% it goes to at the most.
But so obviously we're now talking about marine tank content, which wasn't meant to happen. But so, you know, when you say 100% intensity, yeah, right. Now you put any brand. So obviously I run Hydras. If you put a Hydra Prime, a Hydra 32 and a Hydra 64 all together and run them, the bottom one at 100%, the middle one at 50%, and then the top one at 25%, they're probably all producing about the same light. So how is
out of box?
Yeah. So how, when people are talking about, oh, I run my light at 100%, if you're running a max spec at 100% or you're running a Radeon at 100%, they're two totally different lights. So that's the bit that sort of annoys me, that I'm only running it at 40% or I'm only running at 50%. But that's specific to your tank.
It's all to do with your spectrum and everything like that. And to be fair, the max spec, I don't know about the new one, what's 700 quid or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the max spec jump, it wasn't a strong light at all, really. It did the job, but it wasn't strong. Whereas these refactories, I'm running these at 70%.
Yeah.
I'm running mine at, and they're about a foot off the top of the tank.
Yeah.
So it's quite high up as well. But they're very powerful. If I put my 100%, everything will just go green.
Yeah. When you first get 100%. When you first get into the hobby, it's a difficult conversation unless you've really got money to burn at the beginning. When you've always got a budget, because everybody's got a budget.
Oh yeah.
The lighting side of it, I can't justify, even though my wife's watching still. I can't justify. Can I justify it, babe? Can I have some more pocket money? Putting 2 brand new lights above this fish tank, because there's potentially 700 quid up there. Now, putting 700 quid above a box of water in your living room sounds a ridiculous concept. But then obviously when you get into the hobby, you then understand why they are a £700 light or why they're a £500 light. And obviously the max spec, when they do like the jumps and things like that, they're a very good light at that price point. And that's the difference, that when you're on a budget and you go in and you buy a brand spanking new product, that's brand new at that price point. Now, the lighting side of it, Ross has gone secondhand with his light. I always buy secondhand lights. I've never bought a brand new light, but I would presume yours were brand new out the box, Daryl.
No.
You look a rich man. That's what it is. You look a rich man.
No, I'm not rich, and no, there wasn't. Both mine were secondhand, and I had a bit of luck with the third one.
I remember that. Yes.
So
we're
yeah,
not going.
Both from, but I bought all three basically second hand.
Right.
So yeah, I won't pay that kind of money for a light. It's a hobby at the end of the day, and I can't afford to be putting, like you say, 700. I think that probably be about 900 quid worth of light up on top of there if I bloody bought brand new. I can't afford that.
Yep.
So
Go on,
yeah,
what you
second
gonna
hand
say?
marketplace is best.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ross.
What you say, Ross?
No, I was going to say I bought the light and the tank at the same time as well, so I had quite a hefty month then.
Yeah. All because somebody told you that you were doing it completely wrong.
Yeah. But like I say, that that Max Spec razor that I had above it
Good light.
is it was in the day, but it's like day and night between the two. It's ridiculous, really. But when you don't notice it until you're comparing them against each other, because I've still got the light above my lad's tropical tank now, and it's ridiculous how much difference there is.
So there isn't any content on the internet at the moment about going through the first year of a fish tank. So obviously just behind here, I've created a little bit of extra space. And obviously we were talking, but now the conversation's slightly different, that to put a budget reef over a year process and the amount of money that you will actually put into a reef tank within the first year with all the corals and all, it's one of those things that you hide the receipts and you don't tell your wife.
Don't know what you're on about, mate. I've told my wife everything.
I can imagine. All my stuff's free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mine's dirt cheap.
Yeah. Exactly.
Apparently, you can get a torch coral for £2 these days.
You can do. I mean, it's ridiculous. The prices, they're just plummeting, aren't they?
But to be fair, though, if you're setting up, if you went down the second-hand route and everything, you get set up pretty well. Oh, so you got.
It's frozen.
That's his second-hand internet, that is. Oh, bloody hell, where you gone? He has one job, sets up his first live, and he's disappeared.
He's useless, isn't he?
Yeah. So what's next on the cards then? What was you thinking about next?
On my tank?
Yeah.
Well, I've recently put one wave maker in. I think I need another one at the other side, and I am not running a skimmer yet at the minute either. So there are 2 more bits of equipment that I know I'm definitely going to need.
Well, to be fair, skimmer, pretty much early days anyway. And you keep on top of that with water changes. So.
Yeah, so I'm doing a water change every week, but my nitrates remain quite kind of high for my liking. They're like 25 or 50.
Yeah.
But then I'm not getting excessive algae or anything either. So
this is it. Your algae and everything, your lights sets that off. So if you gradually building that up as you go, you should be all right. But
his Wi-Fi's just gone off.
Thing is, though, is he the host?
Yes, I don't know if we're just talking to each other now or what.
Oh well, whatever we are. But yeah, your lights, if you just build them all the way you are, you should be fine. Your nitrates and everything, there's all your bacteria and everything going to be building up. So your bacteria, and once your bacteria and everything builds up, your nitrates start coming down.
Yeah, so I'm not overly worried about it. So I ain't got a lot of corals in there either, which obviously the more corals you get, the nitrates will come down as well.
Oh yeah. If you could buy loads of corals, chuck them in, you'd be fine. If
Yeah.
anything, you'll bottom them out. But mine ones that I'm dosed in nitrates now
Oh, yeah.
to just to get a little bit on the test. Phosphates have run. My phosphates are through the roof. But my nitrates, I've got to dose it to keep it within the range. That
Yeah.
Medfield
Well,
range or whatever it is.
when I still had the other tank, I had a few nice corals in there. I had a torch and that was doing really well. And I just started dosing the KH. And then somebody gave me, I had a triggerfish and I swapped it for a load of treatments and stuff because I thought the trigger was going to end up causing me trouble at some point. And so, but he gave me some reef-roid, so I was using that for a little bit, and it sent my phosphates through the roof and killed off my torch and a couple of other corals.
Yeah. That's why I don't believe in. It's not I don't believe in it. It's probably right in the right situation, but for like I'm the same as you, my phosphates are high, so me treating that would be stupid because it's just going to send my phosphates even higher, and especially if I'm not getting it out. But then you go down another route, then there's loads of little routes you can go sort your phosphate out. I'm still trying to figure mine out, sadly. Here's Arthur.
Hello, boys.
Half a job.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, right, that we're doing everything on a budget. So the internet is streamed in the garage off of my phone. And obviously the internet in the house, because I'm now sat on the stairs, the internet on the house is obviously the internet. And it just went off. So I've got no internet in the garage. But you two, I thought I'd killed everything. But you two are still waffling on in the background. You're bigger divas than me.
Oh,
Dear.
trying to talk about it. I'm no expert at all, anyway. So
no, but obviously, if I boost put a Wi-Fi booster in the conservatory, then potentially I'll be able to run the house internet off of, in the garage basically. Right, so obviously you two have waffled. The only person that's watching is my wife. That's literally she's cooking my tea now. So as a process of there's just us three and my wife watching. As soon as this goes off, watch yourselves back, and then obviously we can put some content together. But thank you very much for trying first time round and being on the internet. Half an hour waffling on with no actual content, and then we just need to decide what sort of content we're going to do, basically.
Yeah, no
worries.
worries.
Are we okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So as soon as this goes off, you will be able to watch yourself within 10 minutes. You'll be able to watch yourself on the internet.
Sounds good.
Tatty bye, boys.
See you later. All right.
See you.